Hello, everyone. So this week I'm going to take us on a virtual field trip to the Natural History Museum located in Washington, D.C. And I thought, what a great time to visit a museum virtually since we can't go there in person. There are lots of museums that have virtual options. So if you Google museum and virtual, I'm sure you will get a lot of different museums. I know I ran into the Louvre in Paris, so if you want to see different paintings and sculptures, that would be a great one to visit. I'm sure some of the museums in New York City probably offer the same thing. So we are going to virtually head over to the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C. If you've never been here, it is free. So once everything is back to normal, maybe you want to take a trip there. If you have been there, you might notice some of the areas that we're visiting you have already seen in person. So it's great. So there's a ground floor, first floor, and second floor. We are going to stay on the first floor. And when you walk in, this is the information desk, and you'll see this big, large elephant. And you can see it's the Rotunda South, and we're going to head over to the mammals section. They also have on the first floor, they have human origins area. They have ocean, so you can learn about ocean animals. They have the dinosaurs. They have fossils and African voices. So we are going to stay in this blue area over here, which is the mammals. So I'm going to hide the map so you can see over here is the dinosaur section. This is the doors that you would come through. And normally this has got tons of people hanging out and seeing what's going on. If you hover over the arrows, they will tell you where you're going to go. So we're going to go to the Mammal Hall entrance. So we'll click on that. And so it says, as mammals adapted to a changing world, a wondrous diversity of size, shapes, and behaviors evolved. And you can see these are all mammals, and they all look different based on their adaptations, where they live. Oh, there's even some little tiny, you can maybe zoom in, looks like they're probably like mice or moles, next to the rhinoceros, very large. And so they've adapted to life. So over here is welcome to the mammal family reunion. Come meet your relatives. So you can come over here and you can see, you can see these are all mammals. We've got dogs and monkeys and zebras and cows, humans, otters, cats. So mammals, we're all part of the same animal group called mammals, pandas, which means that we have hair and we, as young, drink milk. And we are mammals. Now we all look different, but we are mammals. So we're going to head over to Africa and check out their mammals. So we will go to the Africa Hall. And of course, many of us, when we think of Africa, think of giraffes in the savannas. So we're going to click on this little camera and get a little close-up view of the giraffe. And giraffes' tongues are purple. So if you didn't know that, giraffes have the long neck, and they can reach those tall tops of the trees and those leaves that other animals might not be able to reach. So they don't have too many other animals that they are competing with for their food. I keep clicking on the wrong thing. So if we go down here, now some of these are easier to read than others, so I will try to read some of them. It says the evolution trail. Look for evolution trail markers and other exhibit halls. And it's E for evolution. So it says, look around you. Like the members of all other species, every human has individual variations. Certain variations may help an individual survive and reproduce, especially if the environment is changing. Through natural selection, these beneficial variations accumulate over many generations and spread through the population, becoming what biologists call adaptations. So some of you might remember some of the animal adaptations. Camouflage is a very common one we think of. So the polar bear, he's white, he lives in the snow, he camouflages so that it makes it easier for him to hunt for his food, and it makes it harder for animals that might want to prey on him and use him for food to see. Another one is they might migrate, might be their adaptation. So they might move from place to find their food, maybe based on the seasons, maybe based on what food source they eat. Maybe that food is moving, so they move too. There's mimicry, where animals will look like other animals to survive. Now, giraffes, scientists have found out, they did not always have this long neck that we think of when we think of giraffes. It says here, this is what they believe the giraffe used to look like a long time ago, when giraffes had short necks. As habitat changed, so did giraffes. It says over time, as African forests dwindled, giraffes with longer necks were able to get more of the food, and so they ended up surviving. So they had very short necks. They almost look like a deer, really. And then their necks started to get a little longer, and it helped them reach the leaves that they liked on the different trees, because you'll notice the trees also started to get taller and taller also. So they needed to adapt, or else they would not be able to eat that food. So if they did not adapt to their environment by either slowly changing, and we don't have control over changing how long our neck is, but changing certain things, or by moving, then if our food source leaves and we do not adapt, we don't change in some way, then we'll end up if we don't eat anything, you're going to end up dying. So animals, as things change in their environment, they have to be able to change in order to survive. And if they don't change, if they don't adapt, then they won't be surviving for very long. Let's see what else is over here. Here's some other animals. These are in the Sahara. They almost look like antelope or deer. And check out those long horns. Well, this looks like a fennec fox. And let me see over here. This is both predators and prey struggle to survive during Africa's alternating seasons of rain and drought. It's the end of a long, hard, dry season, and the scent of rain is in the air. Listen for the distant rumbles of thunder. So my guess is you could probably hear thunder as you're walking through that area. Forest gives way to savanna and desert. So they don't see snow. It's either very dry for part of the year, or it's their rainy season. It's raining every day. So we've got different animals preying on different animals. Let's look down here. It says bears in Africa. Apparently there used to be bears in Africa. And this is just the skull, the lion's skull in modern Africa. So if you see, this is the skull of the lion, and the scientists know it's a lion's skull because they can see that it has large canines to stab the prey, shearing teeth to slice off meat, It's got a short snout, which is typical of cats. And you can tell how the jaw is connected to the skull. So maybe if some of you find this really interesting, you can become a scientist and work at a museum and study certain animals. I think that'd be kind of cool. Okay, so let's go to continue into Africa, or is this where we, did we already come here? I think we already came here. No, we didn't. I've done this a couple times. Sorry. Okay, so here you can see some animals who you might find or encounter at the watering hole. And obviously they're not enemies of each other because they're all at the watering hole together. And it looks like zebras. I'm not sure what this animal is. Some sort of deer-like animal. You see the giraffe. He looks so awkward bending down to drink water with his long legs and his long neck. And you've got the hippopotamus. The hippopotamus, you've got to be very careful if you've ever encountered a hippo. Because of their large size, if you anger them and they decide to charge, it will not be a very good day. They can do a lot of damage, and they can do a lot of damage, and you do not want to encounter a hippopotamus. So if you're ever visiting Africa and you see a hippo, I would slowly walk away. And let's see what else is over here. Wish I could see the animal names. You see the big hippo teeth. Looks like he needs to visit the dentist. You've got some monkeys up here living in the trees. And another, reaching the trees, the leaves on the trees. And then what's over here? This looks like an anteater and a termite. Looks like it's a termite home. So I bet that's an anteater. What's this? Is that where we're going to go? Oh, what's this over here? Oh, I don't think I went to this side. Let's see what's over here. Oh, there's another camera too. Oh. This is a little mouse type animal. Teeth that crunch. This is the spotted hyena skull. Oh, and this one you can touch if you were there. It has sharp teeth to tear through thick hides and tendons. And you can see this skull looks, especially the teeth, look a lot different than the lion's skull. Is it the lion's skull that we saw earlier? Powerful jaws provide force for tearing and crunching. Huge cheek teeth crunch through bone. Oh, yeah. Guess they don't cut off their meat. You can see these down here. It's kind of cool. Let's see what else is over here. Well, we were definitely over here. I don't know how we got here. Rhinoceros. The Mammal Hall. You know what else we can do is we can click on our map. We can see. What's that one? Oh, this is from up above. You can kind of look down at the exhibit and see that big termite. Let's see, this is where I wanted. Ooh, what's it there? Ooh, look at that. I missed that earlier. So that looks like a, why can't I think of the name? Cheetah or leopard. And it looks like I might have got a gazelle. And so put it in a tree so no other animal will come and get the meat. It's kind of like food storage there. Oh, look at that. Oh, glad we came to this one. We got the lion. And I didn't see this up here too. This looks like a goat. It looks like it's climbing. Or maybe a relative of some deer. Okay, let's see how we can get down. Let's see what's here. Okay, let's go to the southern hemisphere. There we go. So let's go to, let me hide this one. And let's go to Australia. So when we think of Australia and we think of mammals, a lot of times we think of kangaroos and koala bears. But they have a lot more animals than just that. So this is getting around an open woodland. So you see they've got some bats, some different types of bats and monkeys, and there's the koala bear. This looks like a dog or a wolf, but it actually is a dingo. And it says, an extinction story. What happens when these two predators face off? I don't know what two predators are talking about. Looks like one could be the dingo. So if you would like, you might want to research to see if the dingo is extinct, if it is on the verge of being extinct or endangered, or if it's not endangered or extinct. And let me know. So yes, they got lots of different bats in Australia. Well, that's where we came from. Oh. And they also have marsupials in Australia. And this is a platypus. And it lives in the water for the most part. And marsupials are like the kangaroo. A marsupial is a mammal that carries its young in a pouch. Looks like this is some sort of maybe cat. I don't know. What's over here? Oh, kangaroos. So it's a land of kangaroos. Why do these two kinds of kangaroos look so different? Long ago, one took to the grasslands, the other to the trees. So some kangaroos, it sounds like this one, live in trees. And you can see they've got a pouch and they've got a little joey in their pouch. And some of the kangaroos live in the grasslands. Oh, and this one's a little, I think that might be a jackrabbit maybe. Huh. So the kangaroos that live in the trees look like they are a lot smaller than the kangaroos that live in the grasslands. And my guess would be if they were too large like the grasslands, they would have a difficult time climbing the trees, and they wouldn't want the branches to break on them too, because that doesn't look like a very large trees. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, the rainforest canopy. In the crowded canopy, how do mammals avoid fighting over food? Let's see what this is a picture of. Some sort of monkey. See, they've got different, I don't know what that is. Different animals. This one right here, I think, could be a prehensile porcupine. And so it's got a really long tail, and they use their tail to help them grab onto branches. And they help them steady, especially while they're eating, which is very similar to what other monkeys would do too. I think that's all I've got right now for and this one is a animals that are nocturnal, so we can't really see. We'd have to go behind here, and I don't know how to do that. So it says, who works the night shift? After sundown, a different crew of mammals runs the Amazonian rainforest. Discover how these mammals use darkness to their advantage. So this is a little sneak peek, I guess, at the Natural History Museum. If you want to come here, you can either just Google Natural History Museum, virtual, and you'll get here. The first floor, we've already kind of gone over the different areas of the first floor. The second floor, you can take a little virtual field trip to the butterfly pavilion. They also have the insect zoo. They have a really cool area where you can see Egyptian artifacts, including mummies. We've got different bones of different animals. Over here are gems and minerals. If you want to see like very large diamonds and sapphires and things too, that would be over there. The garden lounge. I think that's just where people would plug in their devices. Objects of wonder. So if you would like, feel free to explore the Natural History Museum. So thank you for exploring it with me today.